What is up, you guys? It's Benny here from SayWerd, and we're back with Word Wednesday, episode 26. I'm here with my buddy Ryan, aka Milwaukee Ald, aka the master coordinator of Milwaukee's Makers Market. Ryan, welcome to Word Wednesday.
Thank
How
you.
you doing?
Doing great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm stoked to have you on. Definitely long overdue. How long have you been doing Milwaukee's Makers Market now?
Whew. Definitely 7 seasons. I'd say, yeah, I think this is the start of our 8th season.
Okay.
Jumped around, started in 2017 in Collectivo parking lot, and then started to get bigger. And obviously Milwaukee weather sucks. So sometimes it would be 100 degrees out there. Other days it would hail.
Snow.
Yeah. So we were lucky to start working with venues like the Ivy House and Discovery World, which is like our home base now. And just, been fortunate to every year just get bigger and bigger. And whether it's the small businesses that are growing, but then also the community that's coming out and supporting these businesses too.
What do you think has been your best event so far? Simply in the terms
man.
of turnout or
That
publicity,
I'm so glad. Yeah, man. I'm really glad you asked that, because it was always Shop Small Saturday. It's the holiday season, but on top of that, you get Shop Small Saturday where you're like, cool, I got some money. I'm going to buy this candle or this gift that's like locally made, locally themed, and that'll be a gift for somebody or something for myself. So it's usually always Shop Small Saturday. But 414 Day this year, oh my God, like Milwaukee was like, it's 414 Day. We're going to do everything.
Crazy.
Yeah. So we definitely had close to 2,000 people for 414 Day, which I know for a fact was the most we've ever had then.
Yeah.
It was nuts. Yeah. It was elbows to elbows. I had people telling me, they were like, I thought December was crazy because they did like a Shop Small or a holiday show for us. And they were like, nope, this was way bigger in terms of just the people and the amount of things they were buying and stuff. So 414 Day, Milwaukee came out.
I was getting pictures and videos from it, and I literally was like, holy shit. Like it was packed. Like it was like obscenely packed. It was, when I saw it, it gave me like C2E2 vibes in Chicago. It was like shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
It was like people were shopping. Now on the flip side, what would you say is like one of your worst events? Like one that like the weather was just like super fucked or like whatever. Like what would be like that one event where you're like, oh God damn, that just was ass.
Yeah, I mean, so this was back when we would be outside, like a Bayview Gallery night. I remember it was supposed to thunderstorm. So it's like, I'm making decisions like, do we do this? Do we not do it? As soon as lightning hits, everybody's got to get the heck out.
Yeah, policy.
Yeah. So it was like, I canceled it, I think at like noon, even because it wasn't supposed to start till like 5 or 6. Just to be safe, so people didn't load their cars, come out, and then I got to be like, sorry, we go back in. And yeah, man, people were just hating on me for that. I'm like, why did you cancel? I was like, safety first. And sure shit, 6 o'clock came around, lightning struck, and I would have been like, we'd be loading in the, out in the rain. So just some of those where you're in, a parking lot or you're outside doing a show, and yeah, I had to go like run and get water for people because it's 100 degrees on blacktop and just nobody's coming out because it's so unbearable that even people aren't going out for lunch or anything like that or to shop. They're just like, it's too hot, I'm staying home. And we're just frying out there.
Cooking.
So those are the ones that are like, I appreciated the people that were there, and just where I was like, I don't want to be out here, so I need to find other places to be indoors.
I think it was the first year that they brought back like Fifth Street Fest.
Oh, sure.
It was right when Fuel on Fifth like opened.
Yeah.
And I had either just quit or was about to quit Bel Air, and they invited me to vend. And I had just started SayWerd, and so I was like, oh, of course, free booth. But I didn't I was under the assumption that they were going to have everything prepared for me, and they were under the assumption that I was going to bring my own stuff.
Sure.
So I showed up and I only had a table, and they were like, oh, we don't have like a tent or anything for you. So same thing, was like 100 degrees. They put me in the middle of the street. I had a rack of clothing and 2 tables, like 2 tiny, like 4-foot tables. And I stood in the middle of that street and cooked my little ass off. Like outdoor events in Wisconsin, it's like, dude, if you want to throw an outdoor event, more power to you. No shade, but like, fuck that.
It's
like,
harsh.
Like, dude,
I've seen the shit shows where I call it like the tornado or the tumbleweed of tents, where one
Yeah.
goes and the other one goes and the other one
Yep.
goes, and you're just seeing them rolling down the street. Like,
Yeah.
I told you to have weights on them. Like,
Yeah. And
you
what are
just
you
see
gonna?
them just flying.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been at events, just vending, because I have my artwork and stuff too. So I would sign up for other outdoor events and different street festivals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I saw a tent flying, just take out a couple off the sidewalk. Dude, it was like some blood. So, I was like,
Yeah.
dang. I was like, hopefully they're insured. Like,
Yeah, that shit's for real.
it gets crazy. I mean, I did a show once where it started hailing. This was a Humboldt Park show, and it was like September, and just started hailing out of nowhere. People are hiding under their tables.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, this is happening right now? Like, what the hell?
Like, I've had so many opportunities to host events, but they're always outside, and I turn them down. And
Yeah.
people are always like, why, man? Like, it could have been great. I'm like, yeah, but it also could have not been
Yeah.
great. Like, I don't like that. I don't like leaving it up to Mother Nature to define my event. You go weeks and weeks and weeks
Yeah.
planning something. Everybody's relying on it. And then because it decides to rain, it ruins everybody. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to. I'd rather pay the extra money, be inside. Well, we're moving into our first segment, a Word Wednesday classic. We're doing a this or that. It's 90s edition.
Oh, shit.
A classic as per usual. Now, everything's 90s related except for one question at the end. Ryan, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm bringing my pad.
Sweet.
All right. Question number 1. Now, with this or that, you can give an explanation if you want. You don't have to. Some people do, some people don't. It's your choice. So question number 1, Nintendo or Sega?
Damn. Okay. Oh, damn. It was nice as a kid. I had both. I had a regular
Okay.
Nintendo, and then for Christmas, instead of getting a Super Nintendo, we got a Sega,
Okay.
which was dope. So, like, I loved playing Sega X-Men games, but my friends had a Super Nintendo, so they had Street Fighter.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, dude, like, Super Nintendo games, in my opinion, were definitely a tier up and stuff. But just, yeah, between NES and Sega, man, I think overall Nintendo. I love Nintendo.
Okay.
Like, I think just the library of games that are so fun to still play on it, and then the games that turned into franchises like Zelda and Mario. Where it's like Sega was cool. I played the shit out of Sonic games, especially Sonic and Tails and stuff. But yeah, I think more my fondness is with Nintendo than Sega.
This is going to sound weird, but I used this the other day. I felt like Nintendo was a home entertainment system, and Sega felt like the arcade at home.
Sure, yeah.
Like, they felt like games to play and then turn off.
Mm-hmm.
The Nintendo games were like, I'm coming back to this, and I'm going to put in the passcode to get to this level so I can keep going. Whether it was Batman or Donkey Kong or Mario, like whatever it was like they felt like games that were meant to be continued. Sega felt like, oh, it's going to be when me and my homies are playing, or like I'm going to smash a couple levels in, whatever. Like,
that's such a great way to put it.
Yeah, that's just kind of like how I felt.
Yeah. No,
okay,
you're totally right
cool.
on that.
Nintendo, hell yeah. That's funny. I never had either, but I had a neighbor. One had Sega, one had Nintendo.
Uh-huh.
So it's kind of like, who do I want to? What games do I want to play today? Like that depending on. Side note: my childhood friend who had the Sega Genesis, the Super Nintendo, his house right next to Maxwell Anderson's. 39th in Oklahoma. Wild.
Right next
to him. Not currently, but like, when they showed his house, I was like, oh my God, that's my house. That's my old block. Wow. And then they showed, like, zoomed down. And I was like, that's my friend's old house. Holy shit.
Yeah, I drove by it maybe a week ago, and I was like, what the fuck? Like,
they still have police parked in front too.
And I was like, yeah, this was childhood neighborhoods, Milwaukee library and all that. Mm-hmm. Like, man.
Yeah. Super funny. Okay. Question number 2. Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon. And again, I try and keep it strictly to, it is 90s themed, so 90s Cartoon Network versus 90s Nickelodeon. So
okay,
I try and stick to that.
Well, then that actually helps narrow it down for me. Then definitely Nickelodeon. I was all about Doug, Rugrats.
Yeah.
Even the like the game shows, the Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah.
But then I don't
Figure it out.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't remember the name of it. But it was a 3D like green screen game where like you play a video game. So you'd either play a video game on a console as like a challenge.
Yeah.
And if you didn't get it, you'd have to go into like a green screen room.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
That show I was all about.
Yeah,
I don't know why I can't remember the name. But even Guts, dude. Come on, man.
Dude, that's like, I know it's impossible. But if I ever become rich, I will recreate that and we will have a party.
Yeah, the
where we can
Craig.
all go do it. Because that was like, oh shit, like how every kid wanted to do it. And then when they did Global Guts and you'd run around with the flag like at the end, I was like, oh my God, Guts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
fire. Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I feel like now, I don't know if you know this, but like there's like Tubi and stuff like that.
Sure.
But some TVs, smart TVs, like I have this Samsung now that has like free TV stations, and one of them is like an old like retro Nickelodeon station, and it's so random, they just throw on literally whatever.
Sure.
But sometimes they do have some of the old like game shows.
Nice, yeah.
And I'll watch them and I'm like, damn, like these were so fun.
And even like Salute Your Shorts and Pete and Pete.
Pete
and Pete was my jam.
Yeah.
Obviously now Nickelodeon, I'm like, nope.
yes, exactly. Very sad.
But and Cartoon Network, I think they had like old, original Dragon Ball and DBZ maybe as well at that time. Yeah. So I definitely peaked at
because that 90s,
Johnny Bravo, I think
90s Cartoon Network would have been a lot of like Scooby Doo.
Oh, okay.
Fred, the Flintstones, Jetsons, Hanna-Barbera stuff because Dexter's Lab.
Okay.
But then they started transitioning. Like 99 was when they introduced like the Powerpuff Girls, and like Toonami really started like getting the shine. So Nickelodeon, yeah, I feel that. Okay, question number 3: better 90s sport themed movie, Mighty Ducks or The Sandlot?
Mighty Ducks was great.
Yeah,
of course I like the second one better than the first one.
Okay.
But Sandlot, I mean, the fact that I don't quote Mighty Duck quotes in my adult hood, but I still quote Sandlot and stuff like that, like Killing Me Smalls, Sandlot, Sandlot. James Earl Jones, man.
Yeah. Iconic. Same thing. If you've never said You're Killing Me Smalls, like I don't believe you're like an actual like 90s kid.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Number 4. Now again, this is supposed to be 90s, so I would say this is probably more like comic booky opinion.
Okay.
Marvel's Avengers versus DC's Justice League. Now, just which which did you enjoy more? Which this or that? Which one did you like more?
Marvel all the way.
All the way? Yeah, same.
I mean, I'm watching X-Men 97 now, I love it.
Really good. It ended and I was like, oh shit.
Man,
yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, Spider-Man, X-Men, just even like they're more obscure, but I remember the Silver Surfer one.
Yeah.
Hulk had one out there.
The Iron Man had a cartoon.
It did. Yeah,
it had that like super rock and roll, like wow. It was super intense.
Yeah, I mean, and around that time too, late 80s, early 90s, definitely like G.I. Joe was my jam.
Okay.
But then Marvel was definitely my other jam for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I respected Batman and DC and all that, but yeah, Marvel for sure.
Okay.
Avengers, yeah.
All right, question number 5. We're coming in with The Simpsons or South Park.
I was going to stop you after you said The Simpsons. Simpsons all the way. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I have a Bart. That's the thing is like when you're asking me these questions, I'm like, okay, I got a Nintendo controller tattooed on me. I have Bart Simpson tattooed on me. I'm like, okay, so what do I actually enjoy? Because I've tattooed it.
So
on
Simpsons
me,
for sure over South Park. Okay,
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely respect South Park. I've watched episodes of the movie. I quote it still too, but Simpsons is just
more
iconic. Yeah,
I got it. All right, question number 6, and it is the hottest topic of the last 2 weeks, non-90s related. Kendrick versus Drake.
Oh, I feel like that's an easy question too. And yeah, my students yell at me like all the time about this right now. Kendrick, 100%.
What are the students saying?
What's
the word with the youth?
So the majority seems to be Kendrick.
Okay.
But I've definitely had some diehards like, it is Drake. What are you talking about? It's Drake. And I'm like, I'm sorry. It's not like Kendrick.
Certified lover boy, certified pal.
Whoo-wee.
That was this week's This or That. I agree with all the answers. Do you agree? Let us know below. Now we're going to move into a little blind snack tasting.
Oh, shit.
So we have 5 different snacks.
Okay.
If you get it right, you win a point.
Okay.
The points mean absolutely nothing.
You get the candy.
But it's for bragging rights.
Yes.
And that's what really matters here. Am I right? So 5 different candies. I will hand you the bag. Don't look inside. Just grab one that's inside. And you have to let me know what it is you think. But try not to, obviously, don't look at it. Yeah, eyes closed. Let me see. Let me pinch that up. Clip on my nipple there. Okay, so this is going to be snack number 1. And some are easier than others. Some are not. Okay, here's snack number 1. So, starting off easy.
I feel like easy. I don't know.
All right, let's see what it is.
Is it oyster crackers or whatever?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I think it is.
It is flavor blasted goldfish. Close. Close, a different kind of fish.
I was like, it did have some flavor, but not a lot. So I was like, wait, I don't know.
You heard it here, goldfish. Not a lot. These are supposed to be flavor blasted.
Yeah, no, they taste like oysters, bro.
This is officially, unofficially sponsored by the 7-Eleven up the street at Oakland. So shout out to them.
Dude, definite shout out to them. I used to live right behind there and use their dumpsters for my garbage. So shout out to them.
All right, you're 0 for 1. This is snack number 2.
Okay. What the hell? No, sir. Don't like that. Is that like Taki balls?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Close. It's Flamin' Hot Balls.
Jeez. Ugh.
Oh, God. Okay, over 2. He's Shaq at the free throw line.
Yeah.
Snack number 3. Mystery snack number 3.
Gotta
What
get
could
these
it
points. Gotta get these points.
be? All right.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If you don't want the whole thing, you can put it back in.
Pretty self-explanatory on that one.
What's that one?
Or is that like a fig Nutrigrain bar or whatever?
Yes, it is, you guys. It is
Whoa.
a Fig Newton.
Yeah.
I'm giving you these in like the worst possible.
I was just going to say, going from Flaming Hot to Fig was a little weird there. Definitely not what I would have chosen.
All
At
right,
a restaurant.
number 3.
No, number
the bag's
4.
Wet. 4. Number 4.
Ooh, okay. Okay. They got to be Gushers.
Gushers. That is right. Super sour Gushers.
Mm-hmm. Damn, those are good. I forgot how good those were.
You can enjoy the Gusher for a sec.
It's
Is that a
hit
moment
me.
of silence for the Gushers? All right. 2 for 4.
Whew.
All right, this is the last one.
That's not bad. 2 for 4, you know?
Not bad. You could end 3 for 5, which sounds really pretty good.
Not bad at the free throw line, you know?
This one's a little tricky. Feel them, smell them, taste them, let them roll around in your mouth.
What do we do? All right, so feeling them.
I'll be honest, I was going to put sardines in one of the bags. Just so when you put your hand in, you're like, what the fuck?
It's a bag of spaghetti.
Yeah. Oh, shit. That's what I'll do next time. Just wet liquids in bags. You have to guess what it is. This one's soup.
I'm going to go really specific with this one. Is this the mini? Oh, maybe not too specific. I was going to say, is it the mini cookies that are chocolate and graham, like, you know, the duo color?
You're close.
Okay.
They are, oh shit, now I mixed up the bags. They are vanilla mini Oreo.
Yeah, so I knew it was more than just the regular Oreo. I was
Yeah,
like, there's the
there's
graham
something
on there.
going
Yeah.
in there.
Mm-hmm. That's why I thought it was the duo.
So you guys, that was this week's Mystery Blind Food Challenge with Ryan.
Delicious.
He went
kind of 2.5,
2.3 for 5, which isn't bad. It's not great. It's not bad. Could you do better? Who do we have on next? Who do you want to see have be on Word Wednesday and go for a candy challenge?
Yeah, sardines. That'd be better.
Next time, what we should do is if you don't do over like 75%, we blend the rest up and you have to drink them. That's the loss. The win is you get to take all the candy home.
Yeah.
I'd
That's what
probably
we're
eat
doing
that
next
blended.
time. It sounds pretty good. Just the flaming hot would offset it a little,
But the fig might
balance it out,
it
and the
down.
gusher really gives flavor to it.
Give some juice in it. What was your favorite one out of those?
I forgot how good gushers were. That was good, man. Otherwise, like those mini cookies, those are classic. I've eaten those my entire life.
You go to the shop, you're at the corner store, you got $10 in your pocket. What's the like 2-3 pack snack you're grabbing? What's like your go-to?
Depending on what mood I'm in, yeah, it would either be Fritos and apple juice.
Okay.
Apple juice represent.
Okay.
Or yeah, like candy snack, like Twizzlers. As an adult now, I'm all about the Twizzlers.
Okay.
Little Deb. Little Deb's always got it on lock. Cosmic Brownie if I'm feeling it. Nutty Buddy is where it's at.
Yeah.
Or the like Migos chips.
Never had.
Dude,
I've never had any of the
those
the
are
wrap
some sleep,
snacks.
dude. They're sleepers, man.
Okay.
They're sleepers.
Yeah. Have you had any of the like the exotic snacks?
No, but I want to go because I knew they were like off of 27th, and now they have like a small shop I think in Southridge.
Yep.
So I definitely want to pop in there.
Yeah.
Because I've always loved like going to some of the world stores and getting like the crazy Kit Kats and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm down to just try stuff.
If you haven't been, we'll shout out that exotic snack store at Southridge. I want to say it's called like Exotic MKE, Exotic Snacks
414,
MKE,
yeah.
something along those lines, but it's in Southridge. I'm going to try and pull up on them and grab some for one of the next Word Wednesdays because I grabbed Timmy some of the like candies and like the Oreos and like the drinks and stuff.
Nice.
They're super cool. I don't think, sometimes people are like, oh, this is so expensive, but people forget that, the import tax and
it's
everything else.
imported.
I don't think it's outrageous.
Sure,
I'll be honest.
yeah.
It's pretty standard. Yeah, it's pretty good. So now we're gonna slide right into our next segment, which is who would win. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is the Who Would Win segment that is inspired by the Who Would Win podcast. Stay tuned. We are doing some amazing collaboration work with them, some t-shirt design, some action figure stands that we designed ourselves, myself and Cosmic Goat, who is again on a previous episode. So if you haven't checked them out, what they do is they take 2 characters from the worlds of geek culture and they pin them against each other. It's 3 rounds of debate. It's very professional. It's super geeky. It's super awesome. Last week I was on an episode where it was Lego Batman versus the Mask. If you haven't, go check that episode out now. This week, I'm super excited. They had a really good matchup, and that is going to be our question number 1 out of 5 for this week's Who Would Win. Ryan, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so to base it off of this week's matchup that I have to finish listening to the episode to see who won, we have Luke Skywalker versus Link from The Legends of Zelda. Who wins and why?
Yeah, I think I saw that was posted. Even when I saw that, I didn't even like pick a side. That's tough, man. As much as I love Link and just the whole universe of like Zelda and all that, Luke Skywalker, man, he's a Jedi. Like he's got force powers. He knows how to wield a lightsaber. And it's like Link, I feel like is able to be like disarmed. You could get his shield off of him, maybe get his sword off of him. Where it's like Luke Skywalker could like throw his lightsaber and just force it back. And just the amount of moves and technique, I feel like Luke Skywalker would win.
Yeah, totally. I would probably have to side. It's tricky because it's pretty much like magic versus force.
Yeah.
But how much magic does Link actually have
control.
himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, super interesting. Okay. I like that. Okay, so question number 2 is going to be Master Chief versus Black Panther. Now, all of these matchups are based off of actual episodes on the Who Would Win show.
Okay.
So if any of these matchups sound interesting, you guys, make sure you slide to their Apple Podcast or Spotify and check out any of these episodes. These are some of my favorites. So this is
Sweet.
Master Chief versus Black Panther.
I gotta go with Black Panther.
Okay.
You know, A, being a Marvel guy, but B, like, I like Halo. I watched most of the first season of the show.
Yeah.
And, you know, everybody was pissed off that he took his helmet off and all that. But I just feel like, yeah, like Black Panther, I don't know, it's just stronger, can find, you know, his weaknesses to use against him. And just, you know, what's the, not animanium, that's Wolverine, but what is vibranium?
Yeah, he's got the vibranium.
I mean, I'm like, so that uses power and absorbs power too. Yeah, Black Panther I'd go with.
Yeah, because I thought too, like, so it absorbs energy. So, like, if Master Chief had like the energy sword, which is obviously like super powerful, if he hits him with it, does he just tank it and just absorb it all and send it right back to him? Like, crazy. Okay, so Black Panther gets the dub for you. Okay,
Yeah.
love it. Question number 3, which was a crazy episode because they take everything that both of these characters have done. Everything they've done was allowed on the table for the argument. And this was Mickey Mouse versus Bugs Bunny.
Oh, damn. Okay.
There's a lot to pull from.
Yeah.
There's a lot of movies, a lot of cartoons, a lot of video games.
I mean, yeah, Mickey is magical as well, you know, Fantasia and things like that. You know, Bugs Bunny's just sly, you know, he's a character, he can get in and out of situations. Yeah, like, you know, I haven't obviously seen the full power, I guess you could say, of Mickey in a fight match. But I feel like Bugs is just so sly, like he could be quicker and just get fast moves and do some damage. So yeah, I think Bugs, honestly.
Okay. I'll say Bugs seems to be the most commonly picked person. And the only thing I have to respond back to that, and I keep telling people it's 2 words, Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
Mickey Mouse as King Mickey. Have you played the Kingdom Hearts franchise or not really?
Yes, but I never played all the way through and stuff like that. I didn't follow them.
So the things that he can do and the power he wields, and then I think like Fantasia too, the magic and everything. Now, mind you, I know Bugs Bunny's like broken the fourth wall and like he's erased stuff off the paper. Like he's become the artist and he's like erased stuff off the paper.
Yes.
So how do you beat that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I get it, but I just think like, damn, dude, King Mickey. But that's also because Kingdom Hearts is my favorite video game ever. So I'm a little biased with that. So, okay, Bugs. Now, question number 4 is Battle of the Ice. Okay. We have Queen Elsa versus Sub-Zero. Who wins and why?
Oh, man.
You've seen Frozen.
Yeah.
You've played Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
So you know what they can and can't do.
It's funny because, you know, I want to lean towards Sub-Zero. I mean, Mortal Kombat, it's Sub-Zero. He's a ninja.
Yeah.
But he's also been defeated before.
Dare I say, probably millions of times by now, given the franchise.
Yeah.
Quite possibly billions.
And, like, Elsa, if, you know, can control such large powers in a sense too and knows how to use it well, you know, it's not just having powers and not knowing how to actually fight and how to maneuver it, where Elsa could probably win over Sub-Zero, which sounds insane to say that sentence, but
Elsa gets the dub. I think her powers are just too big. She's like did you see Frozen 2?
Yeah.
She's like an actual elemental force. Yeah, super funny, but I agree. Saying that out loud, that Elsa would be Sub-Zero sounds outrageous.
Yeah.
But it's fact. All right, so question number 5 is another really interesting matchup. You can take comic book versions or show versions. We have Invincible versus Shazam.
Oh, damn. Shazam.
Do you like the Invincible series? Have you read and watched?
So
Or?
I actually read some of it, and
Okay.
surprisingly, I haven't watched it.
Okay.
Even though I know it's great, I'm pretty sure it's Warren Ellis that wrote it. I don't know who's doing the TV show, but I heard it stays close to the
Yeah.
comic. It's brutal as fuck.
Super brutal.
And Shazam, I liked the movie. I haven't watched the second one, I don't think, or did I? I don't know. When you first said Shazam, I thought you meant Sinbad or whatever.
From the movie that wasn't a movie?
Correct. Yeah. Because I was like, wait, Shazam the genie, but or Shaq Kazam. But probably Invincible. Yeah, just from the comics that I've read and how brutal. I mean, it's insane that. I think Shazam. I don't know. I've never put Shazam on like a high tier even when it comes to like DC and stuff like that. I mean, he should be, but he's not a Justice League. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I definitely think Shazam would get whooped.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like Invincible. They just finished season 2, like the animated.
Nice.
Damn, it's good.
Okay.
It makes me. It's the first thing I've watched in a long time that makes me like want to go and like get the comic, like the full series, and just read it out.
People yell at me because I haven't watched The Boys, and they're like, "What are you talking about?"
Okay, you definitely have to watch.
And I read the comics.
Yeah, you definitely have to watch The Boys.
Yeah, and then Invincible, they're like, why haven't you watched that yet? And then I've watched some of the like stupid ones that were based on comics, like Walking Dead. I've watched that from beginning to end, and I'm like,
all the spin-offs and shit.
Well,
and
now
everything.
there are the new ones, and I'm like, do I even bother now? Because I'm just, what am I doing? And
I think the last season I watched was when they're overthrowing Negan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's so much after that.
Yeah, there's so much.
And the comics were great, and the show was good, but then it's just a poop,
it starts going too long.
Yeah, you're like, this episode was nothing but dialogue and worthless dialogue.
Yeah.
And most of the main characters are gone because now we're going to do these branched out shows. And I'm like, dude, you ruined it.
For me, I always understood like filler anime episodes because of like budget and time and everything. But filler like live action shows, that just seems lazy.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Yeah, I just listen. I just like watched a podcast is like what it feels like. You know what I mean? Like y'all just talked about nothing for 45 minutes.
Yeah, there's zombies surrounding you and you're like, oh, we're missing some cans of beans. We got to track them down. I'm like, what are you talking about?
God damn it, Carl!
Yeah, like we found it. The kids took it over the fence. Like,
oh no, and now the one girl's stuck, and we got to go rescue her.
Yeah, next episode. I'm like, so you're not even gonna save her this episode? Like, what?
Hey, she's a kid. What good is she gonna do in a zombie apocalypse? Toss her.
Yeah.
Well, that was this week's Who Would Win. Again, brought to you by the Who Would Win podcast. If you haven't checked it out, go check them out right now. Listen to my previous episode with Lego Batman and the Mask. Stay tuned with new merch coming, all types of fun stuff. Stay tuned, you guys. So beforehand, we were kind of briefly talking about a possible spooky ghost alien type story.
Sure.
Yeah, there's a place that like apparently it's like super patrolled now because people were trying to do it, but it's in northern Wisconsin and it's a former like insane asylum that they sent like children. And then there was like all these talks that like they were doing like lobotomies and like, there was a lot of like deaths for like children there. And I want to say it closed in like the early 70s. And it's like sat there abandoned, but it's literally they built it in like the middle of nowhere. That way people wouldn't run away.
Ooh, you hit me now.
And
I gotta interrupt you. So you're bringing all this shit back to me now. It's insane what's happening right now. So Wilson Park.
Yeah.
So right next to Wilson Park is all this like assisted living homes now. Like, just like senior living. Well, that land used to be a psychiatric hospital back in the day. Fuck, man, you're having me tell this story. Crazy. So me and my friends, we were teenagers. We'd break in. We'd go to it. I mean, one of them even got caught on the roof once, and the cops came and took him off and stuff. Like, he was just fucking around up there. But so we go through there, and offices are still full of paper and stuff like that. Like, it was crazy how it was, like, left still as a business. And so we take all the fire extinguishers, and we just layer the halls with them. We come back the next day, and I swear on everything, there's little kid footprints and like handprints on the walls. And that was the scariest shit to me. I was like, what? Like bare
Yeah.
footprints, handprints,
Yeah.
doors that, file cabinets that, were file cabinets, and now the paper's just thrown
Thrown
everywhere.
everywhere.
Yeah, dude, that kept me up for days
Yeah.
after that.
See, to me, that stuff, I do believe in, like, when things end that, like, aren't supposed to, or they end, like, abruptly, especially when there's, like, people who've died in that space or,
Yeah.
like, whatever. Like, I do feel like those energies, like,
Yeah.
get trapped in there. And that's what they say is, excuse me, is that this place up north is, like, every single person who stayed there has had, like, some type of extreme experience of, like, hearing things, seeing things. Like,
Yeah.
most people can't make it through the night because of just how uneasy. So many people have reported hearing, like, kids crying, like kids screaming,
Yeah.
and, like, there's reports of, like, hundreds of kids were killed there because
Damn.
they didn't know what to do with them because
Sure.
they were so crazy, or behavior
Yeah,
issues,
they weren't
or
normal.
right,
So
right.
get rid of them.
And there's so many things too where they say, like, there was people who were sending a lot of their, like, just simply handicapped children there, and
Yeah.
because they didn't have enough funding, that they just started having to, like, get rid of these kids, so
Yeah.
they started, like, just lobotomizing
Yeah.
these kids. And it's super crazy because Wisconsin has so much of that, like,
Yeah.
haunted, like, stuff to it. And
It's like the norm back then. Like, what are you
right,
talking about?
right,
Like,
just
what-
ship your kid off to these homes.
Yeah.
There's a lot in Wisconsin, and there's a lot of stuff that, like, just, like, people don't know about. That's why I've really been loving, like, a lot of the, like, urban exploring, and I love that it's, like, really getting, like, big in Milwaukee area, because we're so old. Like, our city of Milwaukee is so old.
Yeah.
Like, the underground tunnels and stuff here.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people don't know this, but there's a couple tunnels that supposedly go directly to Wisconsin to Michigan under the lake.
Oh, wow.
Like, there was, like, former, like, underground railroads that they ended up keeping. Like, they're bordered up,
Sure.
but the tunnels are still there. It's not like they're
They
cemented
exist.
closed. They do
Wow.
exist. And, like, there's so much stuff down by, like, the recycling center, and just so many different places. Do you know the cemetery you were talking about, your experience? Do you know this cemetery? They're just talking about tearing down the entrance building. It's, like, right by Miller Park and, like, the Veterans Hospital.
Okay.
It's, like, right off of Blue Mountain,
Yeah,
like 55th.
like that bigger one on the corner.
Yes.
You drive under it or
Yes,
whatever.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so there at the very top of the hill, there's, like, a mausoleum.
Yes.
But the mausoleum, it's been bordered up since I was, like, 12 years old. Like,
Totally.
since before then, because when I first went there, it was boarded up. So me, my friend Sam Gallitz, and my friend Zachariah, we used to go over there all the time and just bike. Once we got older, we'd smoke in there and stuff and just hang out. And one time we were always, I don't want to say breaking into places because that sounds bad, but, like, abandoned places. We were always breaking into abandoned places.
We're teenagers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so we go in, and we had to, like, scale the side of the building and, like, jump in this window. And when you go in, like, the roof was, like, deteriorating.
Oh,
like,
wow.
you could sit there, and after, like, a minute, you'd hear, like, a little dust, like, sprinkle. But there's, like, it's way, way, way up on the hill.
Okay, yeah.
But it goes, a lot of people don't know this, the building goes all the way down. It's like a full catacomb
Inside of it.
into the hill, and then even deeper. It goes like 6 stories down.
Oh,
It's
damn.
hundreds of feet into the ground. So, but it's been boarded up because of structural issues.
Yeah.
So, and, like, flooding in the basements and all. So it's not safe.
Yeah.
It's not safe at all. It was built, I think the building's labeled like 1842 or something. Like,
Damn.
it's old as shit. So we go in, and there's a door. There's, like, a couple stairs to go down, and we start going down, and right in front of the door, there's 2 dead black cats.
Whoa.
On top of each other. And I was like, well, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, correct.
I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I need to go any further.
Thanks for showing me that. Like,
And so then my buddy Zach, like, takes his knife, like, jams the door open, and he's like, let's just go in. Like, what does it matter? And he opens the door, and it's just, like, stairs going straight down, like spiraling down, pitch black.
No.
And
way.
this would have been like, I mean, God, 2006.
Sure.
So it's not like we had phones with
No,
flashlights.
heck no.
You know, we had like our Bic lighters and like
Yeah.
a Zippo, and we're like Goonies. Like
Jeez.
we got like maybe I personally got maybe 2 steps in, and I got such this like cold feeling to where like my nuts went in my stomach, like my hair was sticking straight up, and I was like, we shouldn't be here. Not even just us three. Like, I feel like people shouldn't be in this space for whatever reason. This don't feel right.
Yeah.
And me and Sam got out. I was like, bro, fuck that. I'll wait for you up top by the window and I'll help you out, but I'm not going in there. And he went, Zach had probably the biggest balls out of all of us.
Sure.
He didn't care
Yeah.
ever. So he goes maybe like, he walked for like a minute. So maybe like 40 feet down.
Whew.
And he came running back up. He's like, I'm good. I don't think I need to go any more than that. And never went back in there. Never felt like, I've always been curious.
Sure.
But even going up to the building now, I just walked up there with Chelsea recently.
Okay.
Even just going up to the building, I get this like sick, like pit in my gut to where it's like weird shit. Either bad people are buried here or weird shit has gone on, and I don't need to be here anymore.
Correct. Yeah.
But yeah, that shit's crazy. I'm surprised you never went to Hunchyville because like I remember, like I said, my sister Gianna went, and I remember it being like really popular with like her group of friends, and like it being like a thing, like, oh shit, we're gonna try and go to Hunchyville this weekend. Like,
But that's with the little people, right?
Yeah.
I heard they throw bricks at your car and shit.
Yeah, dude. She said she had a ton of little handprints and shit on her car, and like that they were like trying to rock her van and shit. People say it's not real. My thing is, if it's not real, why is there a gated community? Like, why is it gated? And why, when you go on Google Earth, why can you not see that plot of land? That's all I'm saying. Why are we blocking it if there's nothing there? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
It's funny. There was something I was actually going to bring up to you. We were talking about, 90s snacks, and I think on Timmy Cosmic Goats, when you were talking about Sobe, and at first, like, he kind of didn't remember what it was, and as soon as you said Sobe, I was like, Sobe was the shit. Like, the green bottle, I drank the green tea all the time, and then they got the plastic big jug bottles of the milk and shit.
Yeah,
I was like,
did you like the milk ones?
No, hell no. Ugh. But I drink every other flavor. Yeah, dude.
I just found a bunch of my old Sobe pins that like I got from Summerfest.
Yeah,
dude, because they did that was like, to me, the Sobe takeover was kind of where like Vans Warped Tour almost got the same vibe, because Sobe would show up and they'd set up the skate ramps. And I remember when they had the big skate demo there with Four Seasons and Phase 2 sponsored.
Sobe and Yoo-Hoo one year.
Yeah, yes.
Crazy.
Yes, which is so funny because it was like, I remember it being that summer was like 95 and they're just giving out chocolate milk. And I was like, this is fucking gross, but I'll take it.
I got a free deck because this guy was like giving out t-shirts, and I was like, I want the skateboard. He was like, how many Yoo-Hoos can you chug? I was like, as many as you want me to. He's like, cool, man, like chug 4 of them. I chugged 4 of them, and then he's like, I'll give you the board, the bag, and like the shirt if you throw it up on somebody. I was like, done. I was like, who wants a free t-shirt and stuff, because I already had the board too. Let me throw up on you. Yes, one chick's like, yeah, right here. Throw up on her, hooks me up with all this stuff, and then she got a t-shirt and a bag too. I was happy about it. I was like, what just happened? I threw up all this chocolate milk on a person, and I'm happy, and they're happy too.
If that doesn't sum up fucking like Summerfest of what, like 07?
Yes.
It had, I'm trying to think. It had to have been like 07, because I'd say my mom, I probably started like sneaking going to Summerfest by myself when I was like 13, 14.
Sure, yeah.
But at this point, I maybe had like my first cell phone. So I'd say I was probably like 15, 16.
I mean, that's back in the day when like Deftones was playing a free stage.
Yes.
I saw Dimebag Darrell with Damage Plan on a free stage there. Like, so.
See, for me, that year, like, because we're a couple years apart. So like for me, 07, I was like 16, so like I wasn't necessarily even super into the music. I was like, I'm here for the girls, bro. Like, I had like my pull string backpack.
Oh, hell yeah.
Everyone always had those.
Dude,
like
partying at the Rocks, man.
Seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's great.
I loved Summerfest then. I wonder if Summerfest is still like that now for kids or if it's not the same. I
I think
feel
yes and no. I think some of the other fests are actually more like that now, where it's like Pride Fest, you're getting huge crowds.
true.
Even like Mexican Fiesta, you're getting big
Shit, I'd even
crowds.
say Brady Street Days and stuff like that. Like
Yeah,
when I was a kid, there wasn't other like kids and teenagers going to those street festivals. It was
yeah,
like the adults.
yeah,
Now I feel like I feel like Brady Street Days in the 90s, the average attendee was like 30 to 40.
yeah.
Now I feel like the average person's like 18 to 30.
Totally,
Like it's
yeah,
totally shifted. Like the youth are just like it's back to almost that like 70s kind of thing to where
sure.
like it's the youth that's like partying super hard and
Oh,
like
big time.
big
Well, and
yeah.
Summerfest, I think they play it right though, because you'll almost see their like game plan. Like, okay, we're gonna have like '90s bands for all the old timers, like classic rock one day, but then they're gonna have like trap music and like local rappers and even like a
Yeah.
Ludacris, I think, was on a free stage one year.
Yeah.
So it's like you're gonna get older and younger crowds in there. I mean, this year I'm gonna go to Millennium and Alice in Wonderland. So that'll be fresh. Like Millennium's at the amphitheater. Alice in Wonderland's on a free stage, I think.
Okay.
So that's probably going to be a crowd of all ages because it's EDM, it's dance music. So you're going to get younger people, older people, just kind of what you'd see at like a rave,
Yeah.
I guess. And
What was your favorite Summerfest? Like,
oh
do you know?
man.
Like right
So
off the
for a
rip?
while, I stole Milwaukee Waterworks jumpsuit out the back of a truck on my way to Summerfest, and that's what I wore that whole week. I think that might even have been the same year I threw up Yoo-hoo on a person. But I met a lot of people that year that I still talk to
Today.
today.
Okay.
And it's crazy to think that was over 10, maybe
Almost
even
20 years.
ago.
Like I said,
Yeah.
it had to have been like 06, 07. It couldn't
Yeah.
have been later than that.
Yeah, so that was nuts. I felt so old last year. I went to a 3 o'clock show at Summerfest. It was Easy Star Dub All Stars, and they're amazing. If you haven't checked them out, check them out, dude.
Okay.
They do reggae covers of like David Bowie, The Beatles, Radiohead,
Okay.
Thriller. They redid dub style, like
Okay.
so. It's really, I mean, their Radiohead dub is super good.
Okay.
And it was old timers on stage, like original founding members playing guitar and stuff, and then younger people as well playing guitar and instruments and singing. And I'm like grooving, and I look behind me, and everybody's just sitting, and they're all like 20 years older than me too, because
Yeah.
they were listening to them in the 80s. And
Yeah.
shit. And I'm like, oh man, do I have to sit now because I'm in these people's way?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, yeah, no, if you want to dance, go by the 5 people on the outside that are like vibing, and otherwise just sit down. And I'm like sitting, just rocking back and forth.
Yeah,
I felt
yeah.
so old.
You're
I
like
was
knitting a sweater while listening to the music.
And
Yeah.
on stage they're trying to get into it and like, come on. You
Yeah.
just see these people like,
Oh, I enjoy tap my beat to the beat.
yeah, I got my
Like,
beer. And I'm like,
Yeah.
come on, man. And they never come around Milwaukee ever. Like they're so well known that they'll play just bigger festivals, like a
Yeah.
Coachella or something like that
Yeah.
on a stage. So it was cool that they came through. But yeah, 3 o'clock show, and then I left, and all my friends stayed for 3-6 Mafia, which I heard was just okay. And I love 3-6,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's more of just like they play the CD and you jam to it because they're not really like playing instruments or actually
Yeah.
rapping most of the time.
Yeah.
So
I saw Cypress Hill at Summerfest. That was a really good
Okay.
show. I really liked when I was in like middle school and high school because Summerfest was down to like have all those like punk emo bands. Like I saw Panic at the Disco, All
Yeah.
American Rejects, Relient K.
Devil
like,
Wears Prada was
yeah,
there.
Devil Wears Prada. I might have seen who else was there. One year I saw Blink 182. They weren't on a free stage, but I still saw.
Yeah,
I
that's
paid.
awesome.
But it was like
9 Inch Nails played the amphitheater.
9 Inch Nails. Yeah, like so many
Tom
different
Petty.
people. Yeah, I mean, if you're my age, one of the most iconic Summerfest performances, literally within the last 30 years, was the Wiz Khalifa concert at Summerfest. Like, I have never, still to this day, seen that many people my age at a concert like that. Like, literally, the whole place was flooded out with people. Everybody smoking, everybody drinking. This had to have been like summer of like maybe 09.
Okay.
Yeah, it
And
was
you're
like
good at
right around
years.
then.
I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. That's one thing I'm pretty good at. Chelsea, they say that everybody always says that. They're like, dude, how the fuck do you remember that
Yeah.
day? I'm real weird with dates. But yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. I liked Summerfest. Now it's different because I
Yeah.
have the 2 kids.
Sure.
So the process is more of like, okay, let's go, let's play some stuff, let's shop,
Yeah.
let's hang out, see some acts.
Who's
and
been on an
let's go.
episode of Yo Gabba that we can take him to? Like,
Dude, I'll
like
be
Bismarck,
honest.
he's sweet, man. Like that would have been a cool show, you know.
Dude,
Like,
there's so many things that like it's so funny. So, okay, the new Spider-Man cartoon.
okay.
Okay. You know who sings the theme song? Fucking Fall Out Boy.
Oh, really?
And you can very clearly tell it's Fall Out Boy. And they do the score for all of them. So they do all these original songs, but
Oh,
you
wow.
can tell it's them.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny because I'm like, no, the first time I heard it, I was like, this sounds like Fall Out Boy. So I look it up. I was like, oh my God, it is
Damn,
Fall Out
they're
Boy.
making that money.
Oh God, got to be getting huge checks.
Yeah.
Because it's Marvel and Disney.
Oh my
like,
God.
are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But
Fall
yeah,
Out Boy.
it's funny because there's stuff like that, or they'll hear a song now, like I'll play a song and they'll be like, oh, I know this song, and then the words will start and they'll be like, wait, no, I don't, where have I heard this?
Yeah.
And it's because some song on the radio is sampling some song from the 90s
Yeah.
that sampled some song from the 60s.
That's insane when
You
that
know,
happens.
it's so
man.
funny.
Especially like Barbie Girl, that has been used so many times now.
Yeah.
You know, the Aqua song.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I remember when this came out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I still have my sister's original cassette for it and stuff. So it's so funny because they just, rinse, recycle, repeat on
Big
so much
time.
of this stuff. But yeah, that's always funny to me. But yeah, nobody that there's been like a few like crossovers to where like they recognize like certain things.
Sure.
Or just like now being in school, especially Zora with her being 12, like there's certain things she's picked up on. She came home from school the other day. She's like, Dad, when we are in the car next, can you play some of your music? And I was like, okay, well, like that's very broad.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? She's like, well, some of my friends are like really into like Linkin Park, and I know like you like Linkin Park. Can I like listen to that? Now, mind you, she's like K-pop,
Sure.
Olivia Rodrigo, like she's
Okay.
very like preppy, girly girl like music.
Totally.
And I was like, yeah, I can play it. I just don't think that this is gonna be like your vibe
Yeah.
by any means. But I love that you're trying to explore. And so like I turn on like obviously the bangers, In the End, Crawling, Paper
Nice,
Cut, like
yeah.
all the like Hybrid Theory and like the first couple like Meteora and stuff like that.
They're great, amazing
And-
albums, even the
and-
remix album.
Yeah, and you can tell she was very much like, oh, okay,
Uh-huh.
this is different. And it's just so funny because like kids, she's getting to that age to where it's like, oh yeah, kids are like really starting to like explore music.
Yeah.
So hearing that like a bunch of freaking like 12-year-old girls are listening to Linkin Park is like,
But
okay,
everything's
they're still
coming back
fake.
around.
Yeah.
It's weird because
Yeah.
again, Limp Bizkit's playing shows now, and of course, even today, I was like, "Hey, cool Nirvana hoodie," and then I was like, "You've never listened to a Nirvana song in your life. What am I talking
No.
about?"
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy that
Yeah.
these Sublime. I see people wearing Sublime shirts, and I'm like, I had that original one in '93, like, wearing that to high school, and I'm like, you've probably never even listened to
We
them.
see it here, like people. I'm sorry, but if you tell me you like the Grateful Dead, no, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because nobody does.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I could not name one Grateful. I'll take a guess. Grateful. I
There
bet
you
you they
go.
have a song called Grateful.
I give it up to Jerry,
Well,
guitar, but otherwise, yeah, I'm not a fan either. But
It's just one of those things to where it's like, dude, Tool. We have so many Tool shirts right now.
Sure.
The amount of people that have been asking for Tool shirts is like, when did you, these like 19, 20, when did you start
Yeah.
listening to Tool? When
Yeah.
did Tool become a cool thing
I
to listen
know.
to again? Like, so strange.
Hot take, Perfect Circle's better. Just said it.
This or that. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny to me, and I get it. It's part of the fashion, it's part of the culture, but it's 100% it's coming back around. That stuff makes sense to me because it's iconic. What doesn't make sense to me is the crazy resurgence of the Y2K
Sure.
and some of the brands. Like right now, Affliction and South
Oh
Pole
God.
are so hot, and it's like nobody wore that.
Stop.
Now,
Yeah.
I understand if we were to bring back a little bit more of like the Rockaware,
Sure. Fat
the
Farm.
Baby Fat,
Fubu.
Fubu. Now Fubu's back.
Okay.
Fubu's back, which makes sense because of the Y2K. Jinko back.
Jinko's back. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Trip.
All that stuff.
Those are so
Trip.
expensive now. It's insane.
Exactly. But South Pole, bro, that was like the bummy kid who grabbed them from the discount store.
I got a full fit, like gray pants and gray hoodie from Mitchell Street Mall.
That's
for
what
like
I'm saying.
30 bones.
Like South Pole was never it. Like
Yeah.
South Pole was like the bum version. Like, South Pole, like Rockaware, Baby Fat, and like Sean John was like Nike,
Yeah.
and South Pole was like fucking K Swiss.
Yeah.
Like, don't wear that.
Yeah,
Take that.
K-Swiss,
Now
Echo,
again, it depends on where you went to school. Where'd you go to high school?
I went to STM. Yeah.
Yep. And then where'd you go to middle school?
Romans, St. Romans.
That's right. Did you play sports for them?
Yeah, soccer.
They were one of our biggest fucking rivals. I played sports for Blessed Sacrament.
Okay, word.
I never went there. I went to Sunday school. They just said I did so I could play sports for them because they wanted me on their soccer team. But yeah, St. Romans Fest was always fucking so good.
Dude, hell yeah.
So good. Great festival.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cousin Center, man. Playing games.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah, that's so funny with the shirts. But yeah, the Y2K stuff, I get it because the people that are super involved with fashion and the trends right now are the generation just underneath me. So for them, the Y2K stuff is like super, super vintage, super like peak nostalgia for them, which I get.
Yeah.
But it's just strange.
Well, I've been able to see kind of that whole fashion resurgence of when I was going into high school, bell bottoms, like 60s hippie style was like coming in, as well as the start of like new metal style and Korn and stuff like that. But you would still see that hippie vibe.
Yep.
And then you'd almost start to see after that, like not disco, but more like pop collar.
Yeah.
And kind of that style.
The like prep look. The like Aeropostale Hollister became super
and
hot.
now it's going into the 90s now is and Y2K is like what's now becoming more of what the younger trend is. So it's weird how you'll always kind of see that resurgence of whatever so many years back.
Mm-hmm.
But I see dope ass like pea coats from the 60s and stuff, and I'm like, dude, anybody could wear that stuff.
Yeah, that's what I like right now about fashion is like everything's open, anybody can dress any way they want. Like, it's not like obviously there's certain things that are specifically hot right now, but the fashion for everyone's so like blown open.
It's cool. I mean, it's funny when I'll see like New York fashion because they're always ahead of like what's everywhere else. But you're seeing just like double layered, like face masking with like huge Jinko style pants even. And then even like big sleeves and stuff. And I'm like, New York fashion, man, it's always different. And obviously Asian fashion is always top notch.
Yeah, which is funny because Asian street culture right now, a lot of the stuff, we have a lot of buyers that come in that have stores in Japan, and they want all the Americana stuff. They want Coca-Cola, they want Harley, they want Packers, Chicago Bulls, like iconic, like stuff like that, which is really funny. But do you want to know what's the next like wave of fashion they're predicting?
Let's hear it,
dude. Because after like 90s and like the grungy, like late 90s stuff, I think of like shows fashion wise of like Buffy the Vampire and like stuff like that. So like the Banties, like you were saying, the more grungy stuff. So now we've moved into like the Y2K to where I think of more of almost like the Sabrina the Teenage Witch, to where it's more of like a lot of like the femme fashion of like lacy tops and like the butterfly embroidered and like brown corduroy shit like that. They say the next fad is going to be that surfer style. Remember that like 2005
puka
to
shell.
Like 2008? Yes, the puka shell, like Aeropostale, like brown t-shirt with white shorts. Like
I hope not.
They really think that wave, that like Von Dutch, like Ed Hardy, because the Ed Hardy's coming back, and so they think it's that very much like season 1 through 4 of Jersey Shore style drip.
I actually believe you because I kind of see it. Like the seniors are starting to do, like flannels or open flannels, and yeah, that like Sabrina style,
Yeah.
midriff shirts and all that. That
They're
was
wearing the
popular.
like stacked boot again.
Yeah,
Like,
and then the younger like juniors and seniors, they're having more of like the party mullet with pop collar, or like more of a polo shirt with a mullet, and I'm like, it's so weird how there's this change of style
yeah.
and culture just in between a year or two.
Yeah.
And I could see it being like, yep, no, this generation is going to go this route, and that generation's going to bring back this style.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can believe you, and I can see
And
that.
anything is, like I said, there's no barriers anymore. Like, I'll be honest, we've had like hood dudes come in here wearing like a lace fucking glove.
Sure.
And it's like, with what they're wearing, goes crazy.
Yeah.
But 5 years ago, you would have never seen
No.
somebody wearing shit like that.
Yeah.
But people like ASAP Rocky, Kanye, like all these people that have like broke the barrier down. Obviously Virgil and all these designers who've just been like, dude, wear what you want,
Yes.
like when you want. And as long as it makes you happy, who gives a shit? I've had people try and give me a hard time for like, you've seen me in like pictures and reels I posted where I'm wearing Mai Tai shorts and a crop
Hell
top.
yeah.
And people are like, oh, this fucking guy. And I'm like, yeah, this fucking guy. That's
Rocking
right.
it, yeah.
And I love what I'm wearing. Like, dude, why do like people put themselves in a box or like, oh, I couldn't pull that off. It's like, no, you think you can pull that off because you're worried about what other people would say.
I'm definitely done wearing fedoras though. I went through
Yeah.
that phase. I hope that doesn't come back. I was like, I'm like, oh yeah, like swing music, and I'm cool, and I'm wearing fedoras. I had like a collection of fedoras. I'm like, what am I doing? Get rid of all of them.
I blame that on what was his name? Who sang Mambo Number 5?
Oh,
a little bit of Cheryl in my life, a little bit of Monica makes me all right.
Oh my gosh.
Like, yeah, that guy.
Lou, was it
Lou? Yeah.
Yeah, Lou Vega or
Lou
whatever?
Vega,
Yeah.
yes. Dude, you know what's really funny? And I will find a way to try and clip it in. Did you ever hear the Lou Vega version where he sings like a bit for WB cartoons, like for like Saturday morning
totally,
cartoons?
yeah.
Do you know which one I'm talking
100%.
about? Roll the clip. We got to clip it in. Dude, it's so funny.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's that reminds me. I feel like that's one of those songs that's like on that roster. It makes me laugh. Like, being adults now, we're always like, we hear stuff on the radio and we're like, I can't believe like this is on the radio now. Like, forgetting that in like 2006, I was like 15 in my mom's car singing Freak a Leak.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, dun, 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 Freak a Leak. Like, all these, like, you remember when Getting Some Head was on the radio? I was getting some. I'm like, this whole song's literally just about getting head.
Yeah. I mean, like, when you hear WAP on the radio, it's obviously a completely different song, but you're like, what the hell?
Or even like Because I Got High. That was like number one on the radio for
like a graduation song.
Yes. Like it was like, wait, what? Like, that's why it's like, no, we just have slowly become just a little bit more desensitized, so that the music has just like pushed that limit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I honestly think modern music, most of it, it's still kind of, I don't want to say garbage to me, but like there's really good rap that holds its roots, and there's like, Tyler the Creator is great, and like a lot of these guys that are making it deserve it. But then I hear it's just some garbage that gets put on. It's not even mumble rap. Like some mumble rap sucks.
Just ass.
But then I'm like, this was like, Milwaukee rap at your buddy's house. Like, I'm like, what is happening here?
I kind of view music, as I do a lot of things. Like, I compare it to comic books, to where it's like, there's so much out there that there is something for everybody. And even if you don't like it, you can see it and not necessarily enjoy it, but appreciate what it is from afar. And they can stay over there. Like, I like Marvel, but there's a lot of Marvel stuff I don't read. Like, same thing with like specifically DC. I don't like any DC except for Batman or Flash. I'm not going to sit there and read all this other stuff. Cool, those stories can go on.
Yeah.
It's just not for me.
No, I hear
There's so much of that, to where it's like, music is infinite. That's why, like, not even trying to be like funny or circle it back around to like the Kendrick stuff, but that's really how I feel. Is like this beef between the two of them has created unique music that has good sound.
Yeah.
There's a meaning behind it. There's like so much genuine emotion and aggression that you're feeling that shit. Like when he's playing that, I'm literally sitting there like getting
Yeah.
it. And it's like, this is fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of shit that I like moving to. That's why I listen to a lot of older stuff, because like the toys and things around me, I like intaking things that strike a nostalgic feeling.
Yeah.
Like I like being taken back.
Well, that
So
stuff is still good, solid
Right.
music
Right.
that's like still lives today in a lot of generations,
yeah,
whether it is rap or rock or pop. Like, no, I mean, there's definitely new stuff that is phenomenal. And I was like, I never thought I'd be listening to like Adele and Billie Eilish. And
Yeah.
I'm like, this is
Yep.
phenomenal music.
yeah,
And then of course, I'm listening to like a Korn song here and there,
yeah.
Cold Chamber and stuff.
That's why I like on Spotify, they have like the blended playlist that you can like share with somebody. And so it takes like your top listen and their top listen, and like makes a playlist, and then it throws in like suggestions based off of like both people's music.
Nice.
And I've been able to just discover so much new music that way, because it's limitless. So you got to kind of weave through it. So I like finding new stuff,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like you said, so much of the new stuff is just so bad.
I find myself listening to more new international music than
Yeah.
like local music. Well, not
Same.
local as in Milwaukee, but like
Stateside.
stateside and stuff. So it's funny. I actually had two questions for you. I was going to ask, what was your first cassette tape ever?
No Strings Attached, In Sync.
No doubt. Okay. Wow.
That was the first one that I ever owned myself.
Yeah.
Like I had two older sisters, so I always took their shit.
Sure.
Like the ones I always took from my sister, they had a TLC, Crazy Sexy Cool, and they had a Aqua, like the blue one. I think it's called like Aqualopolis,
Yeah.
or like some shit like that. But those two, and then we had a like CD cassette player that you could burn stuff from CDs and the radio onto cassette.
Oh, yeah, nice.
So I would just like sit for Kiss FM's like top 8 and like record all 8, and I'd play it back. But when I was aged to where I was really getting into music, I was like tail end of cassettes, mainly CDs.
Sure.
For my age, it was when like the Now CDs were coming out.
Oh man!
So I literally have like Now 3 through like 9 or something.
I would think those are like super expensive or something, but they're
Yeah,
up to like 110 now.
Yeah, I will say, like, I remember that first one I bought, and I don't remember why, but it had Mystical, Shake That Ass.
Oh yeah,
it was like, shake that ass, watch stuff. And I remember I was probably like 9 or 10. I was probably like 10 in my room, blasting it like, shake that ass,
Yeah.
watch yourself, shake that ass, show me what you're working
Parental
with.
advisory.
Like, yeah. But it was Now, so it was like supposed to be the clean version, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely no. The first one I ever bought was In Sync, No Strings Attached.
That's insane.
And I remember being in my room playing it and like thinking I was like doing the moves, and I was like, I'm JT.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's funny saying too, like, this one was mine. Like, I got this one. Like,
yeah.
I remember I, filled out like Kool-Aid proof of purchase and cereal boxes,
send them in
for like a single of Kid and Play.
Yeah.
And like that was one. But yeah, I remember my grandpa took me to the mall and I bought like Astro Creep 2000 from White Zombie.
Okay.
And then like 9 Inch Nails, like Pretty Hate Machine or something.
Yeah.
Things I should not have been listening to.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But they didn't know.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, fuck it.
And then the second one I was going to ask you, what's your favorite live show, like concert you've ever seen?
I'll be honest, it's not even fair, because I went to a bunch of like fun things.
Sure.
But without a doubt, this isn't even just concert. It's one of the best experiences genuinely of my life. It was, I want to say September, maybe 2015.
Okay.
I had just broken up with my girl at the time, and we had been together for about 2 years.
Okay.
And so I was freshly single. I'd only been single for about 2 months. And this was when Chance the Rapper had just dropped Coloring Book.
Nice.
And I liked Coloring Book. It had some bangers,
Sure.
but I was definitely way more of like a 10-day and Acid Rap, like the first two, just way more. But huge Chance fan at the time. So he announced an all-day concert called the Magnificent Coloring Day.
Okay.
And it was an all-day music festival. This lineup was fucking insane. Before I even tell you, no, I'll tell you who, and then I'll tell you how much I paid. Lil Uzi Vert.
Nice.
He had just come on the
Yeah.
scene. Tyler, the Creator. Common.
Oh, nice.
Alicia Keys. John Legend.
Damn.
2 Chainz. Surprise guest of Kanye West. Lil Wayne.
Damn.
Who am I missing? There's someone else I'm missing.
And Chance.
And then Chance. And I literally paid $35.
Jeez.
The ticket was one solo ticket. I'd never gone to a concert by myself.
Uh-huh.
It was one ticket, and it was supposed to be like one of those like shitty kind of off to the side behind the stage.
Sure, yeah.
But I was like, dude, I'm by myself. I'll walk around.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. And sure enough, I ended up running into somebody I went to elementary school with.
Okay.
Who, side note, was trying me really hard that night. I'm gonna go into this whole story actually. So, phenomenal concert. That hands down. It was just too many amazing artists.
100%.
It was. I got so stoned, so stoned. I got pretty buzzed unwillingly, and it was an amazing, amazing concert. So now I have to just divulge this whole story. Have I not told you this story?
Is this where you shit in
nobody's
his house?
No.
What is drum set?
No.
Edit.
No. This is okay. So again, remember, I'm freshly single. So I get there and I run into this girl. I'm gonna say her name, but I'm gonna edit it out. Her name was okay. I went to elementary school with her. Now this whole part I will have to edit out because it is extremely inappropriate. But let's just say
graphic warning.
Let's just say we have history. So fast forward.
Yeah.
This is now 15 fucking years later.
Okay.
I run into her. Oh God, almost 20 years later. I run into her and she tells me she's going to be at the concert.
Oh, okay.
So I don't want to hit her up. I really just wanted to be by myself and do my own thing.
Just have fun.
Sure enough, within the first 40 minutes, I run into her.
At a concert, like what are the odds?
Mind you, the concert was at White Sox Stadium in Chicago.
Oh, damn.
So it's huge.
Yeah.
It's massive.
Thousands of people.
Thousands. So I run into her and she's like, oh, come meet my friends. And I'm like, oh, sure. So I meet her friends. She's like, oh, do you want a drink? I'm like, oh, not really. She's like, oh, let me buy you a drink. My dumb ass expected it to be a drink in a cup.
Yeah.
But it's White Sox Stadium. So it was one of the
tall,
like a drink cup, like one of those like specialty drink things. And it's like a vodka slushie.
Oh, fun.
So she's like, oh, don't worry. It was only $28.
Jeez.
So now I feel bad.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'll drink it. I was like sloshed off one.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, hang with us. I'm like, oh, I hang with them for like 30 minutes. I'm like, oh, I'm going to walk around. I'm going to see, maybe meet up with some other people.
Totally.
I end up running into another one of my exes who's like, oh, hang with me. I'm like, no. I keep smoking, keep escalating. I end up running back into this girl again. Not my ex, this other girl. And she's like, oh, come sit with us. Like, we have really good seats. And they were like dead center, maybe like 8th row.
Damn.
And then there's like field seating, like VIP.
Oh, sure.
So I'm like, okay, I'll sit with you guys for a bit. So I'm like sitting with her. I can tell she's getting like drunk.
Oh, damn.
And then we all start smoking.
Sure.
Then this girl starts trying to hold my hand. And I'm like, no.
Bizarre. Okay.
No. I'm good on all that.
Yeah.
So I'm like super bopped as the night's going on. I'm enjoying myself. Chance is on now. I'm singing like all the songs.
Nice.
She's trying to like sing with me and stuff. It's like super cringy. She tried kissing me.
Of course.
Like 3 times. And I hard curved it. I pulled I'll be honest, one of the worst douchey moves I've ever, like just cold-blooded. She's like, are you gonna kiss me or what? And I literally and I heard her clear as crystal. I was like, what did you say? It's so loud. I can't hear you. And she was like, never mind. And I was like, no, what? What'd you say? And she's like, it's okay, forget it. And I was like, whew, thank God.
Dodged it.
So then concert's over. And she's like, stay with us tonight. Like, I'm staying at my friend's. Like, stay with me, stay with me. I'm like,
Damn.
no. I was like, I'm driving back to Milwaukee tonight. I have to open the store the next day.
Yeah. You're like, I
had
got business.
Yep. I had to work at Bel Air. I was doing a double. So I'm like, no, I literally, it was late as shit. It was like 10 o'clock. I was like, I got to get back to Milwaukee. I'd rather be exhausted and get home.
Yeah, be in my bed.
Yes, exactly. So I was like, okay. I get on the train. I get back to my car. Well, they advertised it as 24-hour access.
Oh, sure.
The fucking gate was closed.
Damn.
I couldn't leave. So I'm sitting there
locked
like
it in?
panicking.
Oh, damn.
And the girl's texting me like, hey, let me know like when you make it safe. And I'm like, LOL, I got my car, but I'm locked in. And she calls me. She's like, oh no, like we'll come get you. Like you're stuck here now.
Yeah.
May as well sleep over.
Yeah, I got
and I was like, bitch, I will walk to Milwaukee. Like I will scooter. I'll find a bird scooter and I will take my ass home. No, I'll find a hotel. And she's like, we're going to come pick you up. Like, and I was like, no, you're not. Like, we're okay. So I'm sitting there like at the gate that's locked. And these two like drunk ass bros come out of this gallery.
Okay.
Super nice art gallery. And he's like, are you stuck? I'm like, yeah, bro, they advertised like 24, like in and out. And he's like, oh, this is bullshit. He's like, we just finished closing up this event. Like, you want us to help you? And I was like, I don't really think there's anything you can do. And he's like, oh, watch this. They grab the gate and pull it up. And all of a sudden you just hear,
oh, shit.
All the lights start flashing. And the one guy's like, go. So one guy holds up the arm. The other guy's holding up the gate. And he's like, just go. And I was like, well, they have my license plate. And they're like, well, we're not with you. What are they going to do? Sue us? And I was like, you got a great point. I pulled my car out. I like let them each hit my pen. I was like, thank you guys like so much. Like you literally saved me. And she calls me. She's like, did you get out or we can come get you? I'm like, no, I got out. I'm on the way. I'm getting the fuck out of here. And I sped home and she called me like 6 times and was so upset with me. But it was outside of that weird. Honestly, that type of shit I love. Like it just makes stories and experiences like so much better. But without a doubt, that concert, it was just Alicia Keys playing bangers, Common playing bangers, John Legend. I've always wanted to see 2 Chainz and Kanye. So to see them plus Lil Wayne
in their prime.
And so again, this would have been 2015. So when Kanye wasn't even supposed to be there. There was like surprise guests listed, but nobody had said anything. And I want to say at this time, one of his kids had just been born.
Okay.
And that's why they were actually in Chicago at the time.
Oh, wow.
So Tyler, the Creator, comes off the stage and all of a sudden everybody's leaving because it's intermission after every artist. They were doing like a 20-minute break.
Okay.
So people go to the bathroom, get drinks and shit. So he leaves, everyone's going. All of a sudden you hear beep, 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 beep. Ye is in the building.
Damn.
And it's his voice. Like it was him. It wasn't even like a DJ.
Himself, and
everybody was like, what? And turned around. Dude, hundreds of people jumped the barriers to go on the field. So then the front row was cleared. So I'm like, I'm going to go to the front row.
Fuck yeah.
So I went down to the front row, got front row. So front row dead center, $35 for the day.
Sick.
So all of them, Kanye comes out and he's rapping and he's doing Graduation.
Yeah.
He's doing like early shit. He did some 808s. He did Dark Fantasy. Like he did. I was like, okay, Kanye, he's going to be out here for 10 minutes.
Yeah, correct.
Dude performed for like 40 minutes solo. Damn. Then 2 Chainz comes out and they sing Birthday Song together.
Sick.
Then Kanye leaves and Lil Wayne comes out and they sing No Lie and No Problems.
Fuck yeah.
They performed No Problems without Chance, which was fucking weird.
Yeah.
But hilarious. Because obviously Chance didn't want to like come out yet. But they weren't going to wait either.
Yeah.
But it was just like, so even if you take everybody else away and you just take those 3, Kanye, 2 Chainz, and Lil Wayne for $35, and between the 3 of them, they performed for probably about an hour and a half.
That's great.
Because 2 Chainz came out with Lil Wayne. They did like 2 songs together.
Sure.
Then 2 Chainz stepped off and Wayne performed like 4 songs. Then 2 Chainz came back and Wayne left and 2 Chainz did like 6 more songs.
Damn, that's
Then he
cool.
I was like, oh my, I literally was like, this is the greatest concert of my life. I don't think
Yeah.
I'll ever be able to experience going by myself, the time it was of my life. Because
Yeah.
at this time, like Zora was 4.
Okay.
I was a single parent,
Yeah.
just broken up with a girl I had been with for 2 years.
Yeah.
Like I was working like 70 hours a week. I was just like, it was such a much needed.
And
like,
that lineup
me
would
time.
never
And
happen.
that lineup
like...
will never happen again. Like, and that's what I told myself. Like, peak Chance, peak Kanye, peak Lil Wayne before he
Yeah.
started having all the seizures. Like,
Sure.
2 Chainz. I mean, I'll probably never see John Legend, like John Legend.
Yeah,
in
no
concert,
doubt.
But
Yeah.
to see him there and like, dude, him
Alicia
playing,
Keys, man. Like,
dude, John Legend playing live Ordinary People was like, this is one of the greatest performances I've ever seen in my life.
yeah.
Like, I'm sitting there like singing it to myself. I was like, oh my God. It was phenomenal.
That's a hell of a
Without a
day
doubt.
right there,
Yeah,
man.
That was a day, especially because, like I said, I drove down there and drove back. So
Get the fuck out.
I left my house at probably like 8 a.m. Got to Chicago by like 10:30.
Jeez.
Got some lunch, hung out, walked around, got to the concert because it was an all-day concert. I think it started at like 12:30.
Sure.
It went from like 12:30 to 10 p.m.
Damn.
So it was great. And then, like I said, I drove back, got home by like 1:30, passed out, and then went to work and worked like 9 a.m. to midnight.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was great. That's what it was being like 25.
Yeah, you could do
24.
anything.
Yeah. I was like, this is nothing.
That's sick.
Now I do it and I'm like,
I know. It's funny though, I feel like I've had more good concert experiences in my adulthood. Like, yeah, sure, like teenagers or being a teenager in younger years, seeing like Goldfinger at their prime and
Yeah.
like Bloodhound Gang and stuff like that, where it's like, they were at their prime. I saw Data. It's funny, Data Remembers coming.
yes, they're coming back and they're playing the good album.
Yeah, I saw them when they were the opener. They weren't on the bill. They weren't on the ticket. They were the opener for Bayside in June at like Turner Hall.
Oh, okay.
And that place just erupted.
Just went nuts.
Yeah, like nobody knew who they were, and it just went nuts. And I was like, I will love this band all the time. And then you have like June and Bayside playing, and some people were even like, bring back the other fan. Like, that was insane.
Yeah.
Slightly Stupid. They're playing their own fests. I saw them in the rave basement and then smoked and drank with them afterwards. Like, It's crazy to think that shows like that existed and were super chill, that I got to experience those. Mindless Self-Indulgence, like they were it for me.
Would you agree that it's because when we're kids, our vision of it is almost too much caught in the moment to where we don't understand like the scope of like, not only are we seeing this, like, you don't think like this band's not going to be around in 10 years, or like they're not going to not be touring, because it's like you said, the concerts at Summerfest and stuff like that, you almost take it for granted.
Oh, totally.
Because you're like, oh yeah, I love this and this is cool and I'm here with my friends and this is awesome. But like really being able, like in hindsight, of being like, damn, this concert, even if it was free or $20 or wherever it was, there's 100 people here, there's 20 people here.
Yeah.
Like, in hindsight, like that experience is so like special and unique, and there won't be one like that because every live show is different.
Totally.
I think that it takes like the perspective of being older and seeing so many shows, going so much time in between shows, and being able to look back and be like, oh shit, like that was crazy. That was a crazy show.
Yeah. I mean, seeing Papa Roach in the rave bar, they were giving out cassette tape singles of, whatever, Cut My Life or whatever. I don't know. But, and then like, Walls of Jericho, I saw on like my 16th birthday, they were the opener in the rave bar. And then now they're headlining hardcore festivals. And to think that stuff, like Rage Against the Machine was amazing. I saw them both times. They've been at Alpine Valley.
Yeah.
Those were top tier shows. But like, I saw DJ Apaches from like Norway or something like that. He played a show in Madison with a full 12-piece brass band while he's DJing and dubstepping and stuff. And I was like, this is incredible that this exists. And I got to see it. And as an adult, I felt like, I was like, cool. I've never seen anything like this before. But yeah, seeing things younger and then now having that vision and that scope of like what I'm actually like, I'm gonna go see Blink in August for my birthday, and my seat is all the way in the
Yeah.
fucking back. But I'm like, I never got to see Blink when they were
Okay.
like at Miller
Peak.
Park
Yeah.
and wherever, at Summerfest. So I'm like, this will be cool, but at the same time, I'm like, damn, dude, they're old. I'm old. Like,
Yeah.
this isn't. I'm not gonna be in the pit.
Yeah.
Like,
Totally. And for me too, it's like it's all about the experience. Like
mhm.
as long as you're having a good time, because like you just remind me, you said the DJ show. One of my favorite shows too was one of the times I saw Passion Pit
Oh,
at the
nice.
Riverside. Remember, like 2008 to like 2010, Passion Pit had people in a fucking chokehold,
Yeah.
and like seeing them perform live, and they did all the music, all the
Sick.
electronic was live. And
Yeah.
do you know who Mayor Hawthorne is?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He was the opener, and
Okay.
he like freestyled a lot of his music. So like he had his MP pad there and like did sampled all of his own stuff
Sick.
live, and like his intro was like Biz Markie. He did
Okay.
like Just a Friend, and he like sampled it and then made like a song out of it and like sang and rapped over it. It was so good. And then like it's just the performance side of it. But again, I really liked it then, but again, I think it takes like the time to
Yeah.
gain the perspective of being like, oh shit,
Totally.
compared to all this other shit, that was crazy. But
Speaking of shows, it peaked in just the last question or third question for you. What was your first concert you ever went to?
real concert that like
Yeah.
wasn't like Summerfest,
Sure. Yeah.
O-Town.
Wow, you were into the boy bands, man.
I had two sisters.
Yeah.
I didn't have a choice.
I liked Five. That's like low key.
Five.
Yeah.
Oh, the other band.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Like I felt like they were popular, but they weren't Backstreet. They weren't in sync.
Yeah.
They were just Five, and I had like, yeah, they're.
Did they spell it like 5IVE?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Baby, when the lights go out.
Yeah.
That was the jam.
So for me, we fucked with O-Town because they were the first making the band
Oh yeah.
on
Oh, that's
ABC.
right.
They were the first making the band.
Oh my
so
God.
my family and I followed
Yeah.
the show on
They
because
were
it
the
was on
first
like
One Direction.
yeah, it was like ABC Family.
Mhm.
So we watched the show, and then when it came out, okay, so my Gianna's your age,
Yeah.
Adriana's a year below, so I think I want to say they're like 36 and 35
Okay.
now. So at the time they got 4 to 5 years on me. So for me, I was 8
Okay.
and they're 12 and 13.
Yeah.
When I was 9, they're 13 and 14. So they're young teenage girls.
Yeah.
So boy bands obviously was like
That
the
was
shit.
the hit. Yeah.
And so then you tie in our family watching the show. So they wanted to go, but I don't know if my dad's in the military, was in the military. So
Okay.
I think he might have been gone that weekend. So it's just me, my two sisters, and my mom. And they weren't, the concert was expensive. It was like,
Sure.
for the cost of a babysitter, I'll just bring the kid with me.
Yeah.
So they brought me with, and it was funny because obviously I'm like the only young boy. But even at the age of 9, I was like, damn, look at all these girls. Like, look at all these honeys.
No
Like,
doubt.
there's a bunch of like 13, 14. I'm 9. I'm like loving it. And my sisters played it so much that I knew all the words. Like, you remember like Liquid Dreams,
yeah,
where it's
dude.
like that one. There's a couple other like classics that they had, but I remember like the music video. It had like Jennifer Love Hewitt in it and
Oh,
stuff.
sure.
Like I loved O-Town because to me that's like it was like poppy, dancey. I always liked dancing as a kid. I was always
Okay.
doing goofy shit. So, but yeah, my first like real concert, like that wasn't like walking around at Summerfest as a kid,
Yeah.
would have really been O-Town.
Damn.
After
Okay.
that, I saw somebody at the amphitheater.
Okay.
It might have honestly been that same year, and it might have been
Okay.
with my sisters and went to Destiny's Child.
Oh damn!
At
DC,
Summerfest.
when there was 3 of them, 4 of them.
Yeah, the three.
Three
Yeah.
of 'em, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Destiny's Child.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a banger. I mean, you've seen Beyonce then, so
Yeah.
that's crazy to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, my experience was definitely way different. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I got, so my parents got divorced in 01,
Okay.
and by like 05, 06, both my sisters were moved out.
Sure.
So when I was like 14, 15, I was going to Summerfest by myself.
Okay.
And like my mom was a lot more like lenient. It was like, don't fuck up kind of thing.
Correct.
So as long as I was like home by like curfew and stuff. So
Yeah.
I was out at Summerfest a lot when I was a kid. And that's when I really started like, that would have been like summer of like 5
Okay.
was when I really started going to Summerfest by myself. So that's when I started seeing like a lot of the
More
bands. Like
live music.
I remember seeing like I think CKY even came one year.
That's incredible.
Like
That's
yeah,
amazing.
there was a bunch of like that type of shit. I was really
That's
Power
awesome.
Man 5000 came one year.
I was at
them.
that. Yeah, PM5K.
Yeah,
I was at
I
that.
remember listening to that and just like I listened to them perform like Worlds Collide and then I left. I was
Yeah.
like, this is the one song I know. All right, I'm gone. Like
And now these bands are playing like Jerry's Bar in Beloit. Like
so strange. So strange.
yeah, that shit's insane.
Do you like I've asked this before for this or that. Do you like Summerfest or State Fair more?
Summerfest, to be
Yeah.
honest. Like State Fair if I just want to go and eat, and I've seen like local bands like King Solomon and De La Buena
Yeah.
at State Fair and stuff. I know like Beach Boys, and I think even 311 played State Fair ones too. But Summerfest is more the vibe, even though Summerfest can get douchey and just drunk chaos.
Chaos.
I mean, I went to see Pretty Lights, and that was the same night that Imagine Dragons was playing next to Pretty Lights.
Yeah.
And then there was so many people that they opened the gates, like they weren't checking wristbands or tickets.
Yeah, they were just letting people.
Yeah, they were like, there's 30 minutes left to Summerfest, just like let it kind of work itself out.
Yeah.
And our crowds just
blended
and you couldn't move. Like you had to move with the blob. Like,
and I don't like those type of settings.
It's scary, yeah, for sure.
Especially because I'm usually with someone. I'm either with my kids or I'm with Chelsea, and I don't like that shit. I'll be honest. The last time I went to Summerfest and saw a concert, Chelsea was like 9 months pregnant, and we went and saw Lizzo.
Oh, nice.
And I literally, me and my friend were like standing in front of Chelsea with like our arms out, creating a barrier.
Yeah.
Like, I will fucking shank you if you get close.
I'm force fielding over here.
Yeah, because it gets wild there. And I mean, I remember one year when I was there, I was with a group of girls that I was in high school. I was like, always had a large group of female friends. And we were there. Some dude, like 23 years old. I was with this girl. She would have been like 16 at the time. She was a junior. I was a senior. Punched her in the face.
Damn.
Like we're just walking and all of a sudden like she bumped him and I think maybe like knocked some of his drink and she literally he swings back and cocks and cracked her and like later and it was then he runs off.
Of course, what a bitch.
And it was like, what the fuck just happened? And it's crazy because I thought that would never happen.
Yeah.
This would have been like 2008 or 9. Since then, I know 3 separate females that's happened to. And it's like, insane. Dude, this is what I'll never let my kids go to Summerfest until they're 18.
No. Yeah, right?
Like, not by themselves.
No kidding.
Like, you got grown men hitting underage girls in the face.
And to us, it's Summerfest. Like, oh, it's every year. It's here. But then when you're like, oh, so many people from out of state come in and they don't care. They just run wild.
Right.
It's like, damn, they just hope they don't get arrested and then they go back home.
And then they take off.
Yeah. Yeah, that gets nuts.
Yeah, Summerfest gets nutty, but I'll be honest, I'm excited this year. I think it's going to be a good year. We're going to hopefully do some type of event or something special down there this year.
Yeah, no, Summerfest should be dope. And like, yeah, I mean, we'll see. They still got a couple hidden ones, but there's some decent lineup coming. And free stages and whatever comes through State Fair, I'll have to take a look at.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Now, in my first concerts, it was nuts. So I saw the original, I guess semi-original lineup of the Misfits for my first concert, and then the next day, my friend's dad took us to see Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah.
And, the dad wanted to be cool, and he went in the pit and just came out with just fucking bruises all over his face.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, no, dude, you're in a Cannibal Corpse pit. Like,
yeah, they'll eat you up.
Yeah. It's funny that those were like my first concerts, like going with friends.
Heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was nuts to see that type of stuff.
Yeah, I didn't start going to shows like that. I started going to them at the Miramar in probably like 2007, like when the hardcore show was like starting to pick up.
Miramar has had some amazing shows that like people don't even know existed.
Yeah.
I saw Seven Lions at the Miramar before, and I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, there used to be like a lot of like bands that became pretty big. I think I saw like Seos in there.
Yeah.
I think I saw Chiodos there.
Nice.
I saw
Chelsea Grin I've seen there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Slaughter to Prevail is headlining like Milwaukee Metal Fest. I saw them at the Miramar.
I liked going to the Miramar when they used to do the Milltown Beatdown.
100%.
Do that once a year. Yeah.
Yeah, Milltown Beatdown there, and then at like Wicked Hop and stuff like that. They're bringing it back, kind of.
That's what I heard. Breaking and Entry.
Yeah, exactly. Alan, he's bringing it back, and he's doing a good job.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with that. The last official one they did, Miguel Cerda came
Oh,
one was there, and that is actually how I met Mike Regal. I don't know if you know
okay.
Mike Regal, the rapper,
Yeah,
local
yeah,
guy. So shout out Mike Regal. His performance was so sick. He sampled a Scarface
yeah.
like
Nice.
line, like a Scarface like audio clip,
Yeah.
and while it's playing, he gets out from the booth and he has a like Tommy gun Nerf gun,
Sick.
and he shoots up the crowd because it's like, say hello to my little friend, and like the beat drops, and he's just like, and he shoots up everybody with Nerf darts, and I was
That's
like, this
dope.
is amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out Mike Regal. I didn't forget that's one of the greatest performances I've ever seen locally. It was phenomenal. I think he won it out of him and Miguel. I think he ended up winning it. It was
Nice.
those two down. I might even still have some videos from it,
Oh
but that
shit.
was a great battle. I love when they did that.
Dude, Milwaukee's got good stuff.
They do. They do. So for this week's Word Wednesday, we had Ryan here. Ryan, why don't you let people know what you have coming up, next couple of events, what you have cooking, what's going on. Let people know where to find you over the next couple of weeks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Summer's approaching. I can't wait. In June, July, August, September, and nope, not October. So June, July, August, September, we're at our home base of Discovery World once a month for the Milwaukee Makers Market. October, we're actually going to be at a new place, the Milwaukee Historical Society.
Very sick.
Yeah, dude. It's going to be a fresh venue. November, coming back to Ivy House, and then Shop Small Saturday at Discovery World, and a holiday pop-up in December. You know, that's a ways away, also at Discovery World. But follow us on Instagram, Milwaukee Makers Market. Like, we update with local businesses. We update the calendar. You know, there's always dope stuff going on. And yeah, I'm just trying to enjoy this summer, live my life, and do some disc golfing, and yeah, just hanging out and enjoying maybe a barbecue here or there, and
Yeah.
hopefully, you know, Packers do good and wait for the Bucks next season, and yeah, man, just enjoying life, trying to live one day at a time, and MilwaukeeMakersMarket.com as well. You know where to find me then.
Yeah. If you're a vendor and you are a Milwaukee maker looking to market, this is the guy to hit up. Follow his page. Stay up to date on if there's vendor spots open, upcoming events. Maybe someone drops out last minute and you're on that waiting list, and that's the perfect time for you to sign in and have that first experience. There are always phenomenal events. Guys, Ryan, thank you for being
Dude,
on.
yeah.
It's long
Thanks for
overdue.
having me.
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
that was
thank
this
you.
week's Word Wednesday. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know who you want to see next. We'll catch you guys soon. Later.